Thanks for joining us for CBN News Today. I'm Charlene Israel. Momentum is building in the U.S. to act against Syria despite a move by the Brits to opt out. Congress is also asking questions about whether chemical weapons were used in Syria and by whom. Heather Sells has the latest.
The noes have it. The noes have it. Unlock!
A vote in London has confirmed that the U.S. will stand without its closest ally if it decides to take military action against Syria.
It is clear to me that the British Parliament, reflecting the views of the British people, does not want to see British military action. I get that, and the government will act accordingly.
The White House says the U.S. has not yet made a decision, but Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel also says the administration is trying to build an international coalition that could act.
We'll continue to consult with our allies and our partners and friends.
President Obama appears intent on taking action, although he would not have formal authorization from the UN, where Russia has blocked efforts to pass a resolution. The major hurdle, skepticism at home. Lawmakers from both parties say the president must provide a legal rationale for military action, be specific about objectives, and clearly link the Syrian president to chemical weapons attacks. The chairman of the House Intelligence Committee says the president may need to call Congress back for debate.
This isn't a one-time event and then you sail away. This has real consequences. We need to have a thorough discussion.
A top Democrat on the committee says U.S. officials believe 1,300 Syrian civilians died in last week's attack. But other officials admit that questions remain about who actually controls Syria's chemical weapons and who ordered the strike. What may help? UN chemical weapons experts on the ground in Syria now. Their objective is to determine whether or not chemical agents were used, but their work may also reveal just who deployed the gases. Heather Sells, CBN News.
Americans are largely against the U.S. intervening in Syria. That's according to a new HuffPost YouGov poll. 25% of those polled support an airstrike to aid Syrian rebels, but 41% are opposed. Another 34% say they're not sure. 59% say they believe Syria used chemical weapons, but they are divided on whether it's America's job to stop the Syrian government from using such weapons again. 31% say it's America's responsibility. 38% say it's not. Well, Syrian Christians say the U.S. military action against the Assad regime will only bring them greater hardship and suffering. They're asking Christians around the world to pray that God intervenes to bring peace to their nation. Gary Lane has more.
As Syrians brace themselves for a possible United States military attack, many of the country's Christians are praying for divine intervention. They believe the collective prayers of Christians around the world could reverse an escalating conflict. I talked by phone with a Syrian pastor who resides in the U.S. but travels regularly to Syria. He's in constant contact with Christians inside the country. He asks that we not give his name or show his face in order to protect him and other Syrian Christians from retribution by militant Islamists.
The Christians are living in fear right now in Syria. We know what might happen, and we see the consequence of that, such an action by the U.S. and NATO. That will be a destruction for the Christians in the Middle East, and specifically in Syria.
That's because they say any U.S.-led military attack will only strengthen militant Islamists who have already targeted Christians.
Once NATO hit Syria, that means they're going to weaken the structure and the rule of the system of Syria is going to be destroyed. That means what's going to come next is the Sharia law. And the Sharia law is very much against the existence of Christianity in that part of the world.
Militant Islamists have already forced many Christians out of the country. Others have been murdered or kidnapped, and churches have been destroyed. While many Syrian Christians feel President Obama has abandoned them, they know God has not.
Obama, he cared less for the Christian in Syria and the Christian around the world. We know God has given promises that God's gonna protect the Christian community in Syria. And our trust is not in any powers, not in the regime, not in the U.S., and no one else. Our trust in God himself, that he sees and he hears the cries of the Christians.
And that's why it's crucial, this pastor says, that Christians pray for their Syrian brothers and sisters in Christ. because it's more than a battle for the survival of the Syrian church.
This is a battle between Jesus Christ and the enemy himself. And what's happening, the Christians in the Middle East, will happen eventually to many Christians around the world, and specifically to the West.
So Syrian Christians say pray, but they know the outcome is not in the hands of Bashar al-Assad or those who oppose him.
God is not going to go work with anybody's agenda. It's going to work for his own agenda and the purpose of the growing of the kingdom of God.
Gary Lane, CBN News.
The majority of Egyptians don't want the Muslim Brotherhood involved in their society and politics. That's according to a new poll from Basira, the Egyptian Center of Public Opinion Research. Of the more than 1,300 people polled, 69% said they don't approve of the Muslim Brotherhood. 78% say the Brotherhood's one-year rule was worse than expected. And 63% said they don't want the Muslim Brotherhood's political party to participate in the next election. In northern India, a mob of 1,000 people destroyed a church building and beat up its pastor. Gospel for Asia reports the congregation has been trying to build the church for more than 2 years, but construction was slowly slowed by local opposition. Earlier this week, rumors began to spread accusing the Christians of, quote, culturally offensive practices. Although the pastor once again stopped construction, a mob tore the church down. They then beat the pastor and other church members, including his mother. GFA reports the village has a history of violence against Christians. 4 other pastors have been driven away. Well, here at home, the Obama administration is moving forward with 2 new gun control measures. Today, it's announcing the end of a policy that allowed private entities to re-import former U.S. weapons that were sold to U.S. allies overseas. It will also end a loophole that allowed corporations and trusts to register guns without background checks. The president is not going through Congress. So far, he's used executive action to impose 23 gun control measures. Legally married same-sex couples will now be allowed the same tax benefits as heterosexual couples. The U.S. Treasury Department and the Internal Revenue Service outlined the new regulations on Thursday. Under the new rules, gay couples can file federal joint tax returns even if the state where they live does not recognize their union. The move comes on the heels of the recent Supreme Court ruling, which invalidated part of the Defense of Marriage Act. Gay rights advocates praised the ruling. Meanwhile, Brian Brown of the National Organization of Marriage believes that giving same-sex couples the right to file jointly continues the pattern of lawlessness across the country. Well, some 50,000 people have descended upon the city of Dallas, Texas, journeying from many corners of the world to be a part of a massive 3-day Christian conference. It is sponsored by megachurch pastor Bishop T.D. Jakes. Our own Ephraim Graham is at megafest to bring us the story.
Bishop T.D. Jakes is a popular pastor across the country and around the world. And as the headline in this newspaper says, this is going to be big. Megafest 2013 essentially brings all of his popular conferences home here to Dallas, Texas. We're talking Manpower, Women That Are Loose, as well as Mega Youth, all essentially under one roof. And Bishop Jakes has called upon some pretty big names in the entertainment industry
that they want from us
to help him pull an even bigger crowd.
I'm like a little kid, you know, ready to open a present because I know it's something there for me. So, like, I can't wait.
I love Women That Are Loose. I've attended that, but I've never attended Megafest, and I wanted something where my family could come together, my husband, my kids, and it's an awesome experience. I mean, it's big, it's a lot, but it's awesome.
This conference has drawn some 50,000 people from around the world. It was last held in Atlanta in 2006. And many of those regulars have actually made the journey to Texas to be a part of this.
We drove, we didn't fly, and we rented a car that's really fuel efficient. So we're cutting costs. We're doing all right. We're doing all right.
Can't comprehend that when we dance we're not crazy.
Gospel recording artist Jonathan McReynolds is among the exhaustive list of talent performing here at Megafest.
It's always the first time for me. So, if I was at Megafest, it's the first time I'm at Megafest. If I'm at Convocation, it's the first time I'm at So it's always just a little bit, intimidating for me. But not just because it's Megafest and it's Bishop Jakes and, everything. We're all brothers and sisters in this.
This conference is also about empowerment and education. TD Jakes has teamed up with Regent University to offer a school of leadership here on the site as well as beyond.
A todos, the mega fiesta. Is that what this is? I mean,
this conference is the first of its kind for the city of Dallas, and it's expected to pump millions of dollars into the city. But beyond that, it is changing people's lives with the gospel message. Ephraim Graham, CBN News, Dallas, Texas.
The North Carolina church group that was threatened with arrest for handing out food to the homeless may now resume its ministry. After a town hall meeting this week, the city of Raleigh agreed to temporarily halt the ban on distribution of foods in city parks. The leader of Love Wins Ministries wrote on the group's website, "While the decision is not ideal for the long term, we look forward to collaborating with the city council to craft a solution that benefits all of Raleigh's citizens." Love Wins serves breakfast to the homeless at a downtown park on weekends. Coming up, get plugged in. We've got Focus on the Family movie reviews for your weekend.
Today we're on a field trip to discover what inflation is doing to our paper money. In this hand is a $20 bill, and in this hand is a $20 US gold coin. They used to have the same buying power, but how much can they buy today? In this first basket is what my $20 bill buys: milk, bread, peanut butter, and jelly. And here's what one $20 gold coin will buy: 6 baskets full, worth nearly $2,000, almost 100 times more food, simply by owning gold dollars instead of paper dollars. History shows that the gold coins have been the best way to beat the rising cost of living. So class, the moral is that unless you want to live on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in the future, you should turn some paper dollars into gold coins now. How and why is explained in a new book, The Great Debasement. Call the number below for a totally free copy. And that's the simple truth.
Help! If an emergency happened right now, you can have help at the push of a button with Medical Alert.
Remember when I took that fall, Mary?
Oh, yes, that was terrible.
Yes, it was.
Help!
And I thought, what if you hadn't been there? I ordered my Medical Alert the next day.
I can't describe how safe I feel now with my Medical Alert. You didn't know I was wearing it, did you?
Medical Alert is easy to install, waterproof, and covers you inside your home and out.
It helps me feel safe from fires, break-ins.
And of course, a Medical Alert. And if you don't have a home phone, don't worry. They have that covered.
There's always help at the push of a button. Don't wait till you need it.
Get Medical Alert for less than $1 a day. There are no long-term contracts. Order now and get your second button free. Call for your free brochure.
For your free Medical Alert system with second button free, call 800-575-8507.
From CBN.
Broken Eardrum is playing at the Civic tonight.
And you'll just have to miss it.
This is so incredibly unfair.
A special story of love and sacrifice.
Joy, Mom comes up with something.
Christopher Quantum, you and I are going to discuss your attitude right this minute. Superbook.
No.
Join the Superbook DVD Club and get Superbook's newest episode, He is Risen. Plus 2 copies to share with others. All for your gift of $25.
They have arrested Jesus, the Messiah. Do you not know that I have the power to crucify you?
No! Please! You can't! They've taken him to Golgotha. We must hurry. Mary is about to lose her son. The worst thing any mother could face. I am not leaving her.
Superbook. It's an amazing way to build a strong spiritual foundation in the children you love.
Mary, who are you looking for?
I've seen him! He is alive!
Superbook. He is Risen. Available now.
Welcome back. More than half of the country is now experiencing some form of drought. It's hitting many farm states from the Dakotas to Wisconsin and down through Missouri. And farmers are facing a double whammy. A wet, cool spring delayed planting and slowed crop growth. That was followed by a lack of rain starting in July and the heat wave that's now hurting crops. The main ones to suffer, corn and soybean. Meanwhile, hot, dry weather across the West is also fueling wildfires. And the rim fire near Yosemite National Park is forcing some people to cancel their Labor Day vacation plans. 20,000 acres are burning across the northern area of the park. Still, firefighters are making some progress. The fire is now about 30% contained. Officials credit cooler temperatures, higher humidity, and lighter winds with helping crews fight the blaze. Firefighters are also using fire to fight the massive wildfire. It's called a backfire.
They've used it as a burnout operation, and the goal of that is to remove fuels ahead of the fire as it comes.
The Rim Fire is the 6th largest wildfire in California history. Officials hope to have it fully contained within the next 2 weeks. Well, California's 9th Circuit Court has upheld a new law banning change therapy. The therapy is used to help those with unwanted same-sex attraction. The law was supposed to take effect at the beginning of the year, but has been on hold pending an upper court ruling. That came Thursday when the 9th Circuit ruled the ban does not violate therapist free speech rights. Liberty Counsel says it may file a petition with the Supreme Court. New Jersey Governor Chris Christie signed a similar measure last week. Well, if you're looking for something to watch at the theater this weekend for this week's movie reviews, CBN News anchor Mark Martin spoke with Bob Waliszewski. He's director of Focus on the Family's entertainment review department called Plugged In Online.
Bob, let's start with the movie that some tweens or teens may be interested in. It's about the boy band called One Direction. What did you think?
You know, it's basically fairly family friendly. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5, so it has the possibility. It's a lot of concert footage and a lot of back history on the band, you know, interviews with parents and grandparents and finding out that one of the band members bought his mother a brand new house. You know, what a great guy. So it's pretty innocuous, but I do have to say a little word of warning or a little bit of a caveat that these guys' concert songs tend to go the way of a little bit of sensuality. The kind of, hey baby, would you stay with me tonight? You know, I'll treat you right, kind of, you know, those kind of songs. Just a little bit of an edge. There's certainly nothing explicit like the Robin Thicke, Miley Cyrus, you know, you're not going to have Katy Perry, Lady Gaga comparisons here. But, you know, for some families, it's like, okay, a 3.5, but I'd still want to say no, and I totally get that.
Okay, makes sense. Well, we've got a PG-13 action flick out called Getaway. Is that one okay for the family?
You know, this one stars Selena Gomez, so I know that there's a lot of Disney fans of hers wondering about this. And with the PG-13 rating that you've already said, it probably is like waving a sign saying, hey, come, you know. However, even from an entertainment point of view, and I typically don't talk too much about how it was entertainment, more for the family, this one was a real loser. Ethan Hawke's wife gets kidnapped, asks him to steal a hot car that's got cameras and microphones, basically puts him on a mission. If he doesn't drive really crazy and run through marketplaces and make all sorts of pedestrians run out of the way, they're going to kill his wife. And Selena Gomez jumps into the car. From a family perspective, it seemed like a way to show that Selena Gomez, who's supposed to be a teenager in this movie, can cuss like a sailor in shore leave. And that's why, primarily, I gave the film just a 2 out of 5 for family friendliness. A lot of misuses of our Savior's name, a lot of harsh profanities, and most of them come from Selena Gomez. It's almost like someone needs to give that girl a bar of soap, you know? Or at least that's how they treated me when I was younger, you know, anyways. Didn't like the film. Family friendliness, a 2. If it was entertainment, you know, again, a thumbs down. Did not like that film.
Really? So Disney star Selena Gomez has a potty mouth in this?
Yeah, and she just came off of Spring Breakers earlier this year. So she's already shred her wholesome image. Not so far as Miley has gone with the VMAs recently, but she's getting quite a bit closer in this one. She just, you know, sheds even more of that more wholesome image.
It's too bad. All right, Bob Waliszewski from Plugged In Online. Thanks for your insight, sir.
You bet.
Up next, unforgettable moments on the 700 Club. CBN News bids farewell to anchor Webb after almost 20 years.
Attention sleep apnea patients. Are you tired of the expense and hassle of getting your CPAP and BiPAP supplies? Are you fed up with dealing with ill-fitting, leaking, or worn-out masks and straps? Are you worried about the effects that unsanitary tubes, cushions, and filters have on your health? If you said yes to any of these questions, Allied Medical Supply Network has the solution to your problems. You could qualify to have your supplies regularly delivered right to your door at little or no cost to you. That's right, no more inconvenience, no worn out masks and straps, no more unsanitary equipment, just restful sleep. Call Allied Medical Supply Network today to determine if you may qualify to receive your fresh, brand name supplies at little or no cost. Don't delay. Call us now to see if you are eligible to save money on regular delivery of your CPAP and BiPAP supplies. Call 1-800-815-9947. That's 1-800-815-9947. Or go to cpapsupplyhelpline.com.
Announcing an important breakthrough in healthcare that can benefit everyone. If you or anyone you love needs affordable health insurance, regardless of a pre-existing medical condition, call Quick Insurance 123 today and get the immediate relief you deserve. Quick Insurance 123 was created to provide affordable health insurance to all uninsured Americans, with or without pre-existing conditions. This is not a discount card. This is a real insurance program that lets you choose from many affordable health plans, with access to doctors, hospitals, emergency services, and more. So call the number on your screen now and get the health coverage you need, just for calling. As a special bonus, we'll send you a free prescription savings card that could save you up to 85% on your prescriptions. That's right, you could save up to 85% on your prescriptions just for calling. Call Quick Insurance 123 to find out how you can get affordable health insurance and receive your free prescription savings card just for calling. Don't wait. Getting a free quote is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call today.
Today is a bittersweet day for our CBN family. After 19 years, news anchor Lee Webb is leaving us to join Ligonier Ministries in Sanford, Florida, where he's accepted a position of Vice President of Broadcasting. We wish Lee well, but we really hate to see him go. And before he does, we want to take a quick look back at some of Lee's most memorable moments.
In 1993, I had made the fateful decision of giving a speech to a group of conservative, politically active Christians in Jacksonville, Florida. I had been anchoring the news for the NBC affiliate there for a number of years and spoke about the mainstream media's bias against them. And that speech got me suspended and ultimately fired from my job. One of the first phone calls, though, that I received after being suspended from my job was from Pat Robertson. And that phone call led to, a year later, him hiring me to be the news anchor for the 700 Club. Covering the Republican and Democratic conventions were some of the highlights of my time here.
Kerry, that he needed to explain to the American people the difference between himself and George Bush's.
By the time we got into the studio, it became apparent that our entire 700 Club broadcast for that day was going to be put aside, and this was going to be our coverage. And in fact, I think that Pat came over to the news set early on, and it was just Pat and me standing at the news set.
I went to a local church here in Slidell yesterday, and frankly, I didn't know what to expect.
One of the things I distinctly remember about my time in Slidell, Louisiana, after Hurricane Katrina, was worshiping at the Methodist church that had been destroyed by the floodwaters. The common bond that they experienced through that tragedy, knowing that their sovereign God still loved them and still wanted to hear their praises that morning. I think we were all excited that Gary Busey was going to be a guest on the 700 Club. I remember watching Terry interview Gary, and then there was a commercial break, and then I had a segment. So he just sat down next to me, and he decided he wanted to introduce that story.
He's not finished. He wanted to come over to the news, and so he wanted to know how I read the news. So we thought we'd give you the opportunity to read the intro to this story right here. It's a very important story.
It's very important for me too, and for everyone that's listening.
Right. What made it awkward was that the story was not any kind of lighthearted report. It was a very serious story about cancer and death. And so it was one of the most awkward moments, but it was also pretty humorous too. The thing that I will take away from over my 19 years here, the relationships built off the set, behind the scenes, being able to work with people that recognize the gifts and talents that God has given them, but the love and care and concern that everyone has here for each other, and it's been a great source of encouragement to me.
Oh, I have a tear in my eye for Lee. God bless him. Well, all of us here are going to miss Lee very well at CBN, and we're going to wish him very, very much success where he's going. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
When you're driving along and your cell phone rings, do your eyes instantly go off the road? Then you need to get a grip. Hi, David Jones here with the new GripGo, the most versatile hands-free mount that will instantly grip any phone for safe driving. Just attach the suction cup to your windshield or dash, and GripGo grabs your phone ultra fast. Then it peels right off. And don't worry, there's no sticky residue left behind. The 360-degree pivoting mount allows you to always get the perfect viewing angle. It's even strong enough to grab and hold this expensive smartphone out the window. Yet it comes right off with ease. That's the advantage of GripGo. You can get the amazing GripGo with dashboard mount for only $14.95. We'll send you a second kit free. Just pay separate processing and handling. Get 2 complete GripGo systems for just $14.95.
To order GripGo for $14.95 plus processing and handling, call 1-800-709-5259 or order online at getgripgo.com.
Jim is 38, mortgage, married, 3 great kids. He wants to protect his family with a $500,000 term life insurance policy. What do you think it'll cost him? $100 a month? 60? 40? Actually, none of the above. Jim can get a $500,000 policy from a highly rated insurer for under $19 a month. His secret? SelectQuote. SelectQuote is impartial. They'll comparison shop the pick of insurance companies like these to give you a choice of your best prices. SelectQuote has great savings on term life for women, too. Jim's wife, Deidre, can get a $500,000 policy for under $16 a month. SelectQuote has helped make term life insurance affordable for hundreds of thousands of people since 1985. How about you? Just call this number or go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
Finally, family vacations are always memorable for parents. That's especially the case for one family after their son became a hero. The 9-year-old was able to stay calm under pressure, saving the life of a toddler who was drowning. Ethan Tenon was swimming at an Orlando area hotel when he noticed a 2-year-old girl face down at the bottom of the pool. That's when he jumped into action. He pulled her out of the water. 2 bystanders performed CPR on the girl.
We were just playing and then she was just underwater and it was really weird. Really amazed that she's still alive.
When they are put through the life-saving training over in the UK, you don't think they're ever going to need it, especially not when you're on holiday.
Especially on vacation. Well, Ethan's mom says he learned swimming safety at a young age. The local sheriff's office is honoring Ethan with a medal for his quick action. The Wyndham Hotel is also thanking Ethan by sending him to Disney World. Absolutely amazing. He's a true hero, 9 years old. Well, that's all for now on CBN News Today. Tell us what you think about the stories you've seen today on Facebook or at CBN News on Twitter. Have a great weekend. God bless.
If you had a choice between going bald and a full head of hair, which would you choose? Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss.
Yes!
You wash it, you cut it. It's your own real, naturally growing hair. When it comes to hair restoration, no one in the world has more experience than Bosley. The results look completely natural and are affordable on nearly any budget. But the entire process can't be explained in 60 brief seconds. So to find out more about this clinically proven and permanent solution to hair loss, call now to receive your free no-obligation information kit. It'll answer all of your questions about hair loss and hair restoration. Plus, we'll also send you this $250 gift certificate just for calling. Every day you wait, you're losing more hair. So don't put it off any longer. You owe it to yourself to find out the facts. Choose hair. Choose Bosley.
Call 800-868-9957. That's 800-868-9957.
Introducing the CBN Bible from CBN.com. Now, an easier way to study the Bible and grow in your faith. Highlight your favorite verse. Read separate versions at a glance. click and read a commentary, or cross-reference your favorite verse using the Strong's Concordance. All the right tools to study the Bible, all in one place. The CBN Bible, available at cbn.com/Bible or the iTunes App Store.